Weight gain is something that's always eluded me. I'm one of those guys that could eat as much as they want but not gain more than a few kilograms. We just had Christmas, but looking at the scales you wouldn't know it. Over the next month, I'm going to do everything I can to change that. This video will document my journey and my process. You can follow along with me if you like. It'll be interesting to compare our results. I am slightly underweight according to my BMI measurement. Yes, I'm missing half an arm, so that affects it, but we can account for that. So a human forearm weighs around 2% of your total body weight. So if I add 2% of my weight, which is 56.5 kilos, onto my weight, then we get roughly 58 kilos. So this is still 2 kilograms less than what I should be to no longer be classed as underweight. Before we get into the video, I should mention about 2 years ago I got diagnosed with celiac disease. That is, that every time I ate gluten, which is wheat, barley and rye, I was hurting my body. So your gut lining, thing you got here, to increase the absorption area of the gut, it has little fingers coming out called villi. So actually that increases the absorption area rather than just a circle. You get more area to absorb food and nutrients if the lining is a wiggly one. So by eating gluten, those wiggly things have been ground down and I wasn't able to put on weight and take in key nutrients. But that's 2 years ago roughly, and I've since gone on a completely gluten-free diet, revamped my health, and hopefully my gut should have now almost finished healing, so I should be in the same situation as you guys. I've tried to put on weight in the past more times than I can count. So what makes me think this time is going to be any different? Well, it may well be fruitless and you'll have watched through an uninspiring video, though it may give some of you comfort to feel that you're not alone. But I'm going to give this my best shot. So I'm going to have to make some changes from prior attempts. Einstein said that the definition of insanity was doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So the first change I'm going to make is to set smart goals rather than just saying, I want to put on weight. You may or may not have heard of SMART goals, so I'll put them up on the screen here. We have specific, so basically how much weight do I want to put on, measurable, how will I measure this, attainable, don't set myself up for failure, realistic, basically like attainable, and time bound, when will you achieve this goal? So the goal I want to put on weight turns into I want to put on 3 kilos in the next 30 days, and I'll measure this using the same scales every morning before eating with minimal clothing on. Now you may think that 3 kilos doesn't sound like much, but I still feel slightly nervous I may not make it. And I think that that feeling is a good sign you've set your goal right. You don't want to set yourself up for failure. This doesn't mean I'll stop when I get to 3 kilograms. I'll keep pushing throughout the 30 days. All the advice about putting on weight seems to recommend weight training, protein and eating more. So I'll be lifting weights 3 times a week. As for food, you want to figure out your maintenance calories, what your body uses just by living, then add 500 calories to that to start. So my maintenance is about 2,000 calories, so I'll be aiming for around 2,500 a day. Looking at various advice, it seems that about 1.5 grams of protein per day per kilogram of body weight is a good place to start. So my adjusted weight is 58 kilograms, so I'll need 87 grams of protein per day. So with a 30-gram protein shake every day alongside my diet, I should easily be able to achieve this. So let's get started. Right, so it's day 6 and this is the first day when I'm actually gone down in weight. So the first 5 days I consecutively increased my weight little by little. It was quite amazing to actually see it go up each time, and I think that's the advantage of tracking it, so you can really see the results of your endeavours. But today, as I said, was the first day my weight went down. I went down slightly, but I guess that's to be expected. You're not going to go up forever. I was pretty impressed to keep going up over 5 days. But yeah, I'm just going to stick to the plan, have faith in it, and hopefully we'll get there. So it's now day 12 of my weight gain journey, and as you can see, this is my calorie counting spreadsheet. So we've got the calories here, the name of the food, the number of servings, if appropriate, and then I'll just drag along here, and then that gives me my, in this little box here, I don't know if you can quite see it over the webcam, it says 2767, just put that in there, that's the total calories for the day, and you can see what I've been getting the last few days. So trying to stick around 2,800, that's my target calories, and dropped a little bit below that yesterday. So I think I did have one extra snack at the end, which probably pushed me over there. I'm ending up eating quite a lot more just right before I go to bed, which probably is not a good thing health-wise, but it's something I'm finding I'm having to do to keep the number of calories up. Generally, what I do is towards the end of the day, I keep putting this off for calorie counting. So towards the end of the day, I count up all my calories, and then I find out, oh, I haven't eaten enough today, so I'm going to have to go and eat more food. So probably not something I'm going to do long term. I have to get better at pushing my eating earlier on in the day, but for now, it's not the end of the world. So I've actually been finding the calorie counting has been getting easier over time. Now I've got the rough calorie amount of each meal, each ingredient. I'm just able to copy and paste it. So I have a lot of the same meals. So all I do, if I had my avocado smoothie, I would just copy all this stuff and paste it in today. So when I last spoke to you, my weight had been falling a bit, and it's since picked back up, and today I had my highest weight so far. So it's looking like it's going in the right direction. That's not a linear progression, but it's wiggling up. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully we'll be able to put on the 3 kilos by the end of the 30 days. Last thing to mention today is yesterday I started weightlifting. I had been erring away from doing it because I'd hurt my back recently, but yesterday I thought I'd give it a go as my back had been feeling a bit better, and I plan to probably weightlift 2 or 3 times a week, so nothing major. So yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say today. I'll see you in a few days' time. So it's day 21, and I'm tantalisingly close to reaching my goal of 3 kilos gained in 30 days. And so I started the month at 55.95 kilos, so almost 56, and we are currently at the moment 58.65, which I believe is 0.3 of a kilo off. So I expect to reach the 3 kilo goal this month, which is great, which is something I didn't necessarily expect to do. I think the key thing is just eating enough for me, and just realising how much calories you're consuming, because it's probably not as much as you think. This has given me a bit more faith in the advice that if you eat enough, you're probably going to put on weight. Obviously, if you've got gut problems and your gut was destroyed like mine was 2 years ago with celiac disease, then eating a lot is probably not the best option. But for me, now 2 years on, it shows that if I can put on 3 kilos, probably my gut has healed, which is great news. So hopefully I complete my goal in the next few days, and I'm just going to keep on doing the same thing until the end of January at least, and see how much we put on. So I'll see you in a few days' time. So the 30 days is up, so now for the moment of truth. I'm glad to report that I am now over 3 kilos heavier than I was 30 days ago at 59.1 kilograms. So I started out at, let's find that, I started out at 55.95 kilos. So to reach my goal I would have to be 58.95 and I'm just over that at 59.1. So it's not massively over what I aim for, but I wonder if that could be that you do get what you aim for in life. So perhaps I could have set my goal a bit higher, but I'm happy with 3 kilos. It shows that I can put on weight and I can just keep doing 3 kilos every month and eventually I'll get as heavy as I want to be. So another interesting point to note is that I noticed most of my weight gain really came in the first half of the 30 days. I wonder if that might be because after halfway through I just got a bit bored of tracking my calories every day, so I kind of dropped off. But I reckon I was still pretty close to eating enough calories. Maybe I need to keep upping the calories, so my target calories was 2,800. Maybe I need to keep increasing on that if I want to keep on putting on weight. Maybe that's the issue. I also found that when I was working my part-time job, which I do 3 days a week, I would find my weight would decrease on the days after I'd worked. And my theory behind that is that I was just eating less at work. So you could apply this to your own weight gain journey by looking at when in the week you lose weight and seeing if you can tie that back to any events and maybe try and reduce or eliminate those events so you're not so hindered when you're putting on weight. So going forwards, I'm not going to put on crazy amounts of weight or anything, but there are a few metrics in my Scales app which I'm going to try and improve. So if you don't know, my Scales app that I've been using, so when I weigh myself on the scales, I hold my phone and it gives me metrics for things like body fat, subcutaneous fat, skeletal muscle, body water and metabolic age, etc. So it tells you which whether you're in the range for them, and my subcutaneous fat is slightly low. So if I can get that up a bit, I think I'll be happy with where I am now. And just to plug for the scales that I used, I got them off Amazon. I've been using pretty rubbish scales for the last 5-10 years, which weren't accurate. It's really great to have some scales which actually you could rely on. So if you want to get them, there's a link in the description. There's lots of scales like it, and a lot of them can now come with these apps, which is cool. So I think I'll leave the video there, but if you have any questions, let me know. I'm not a weight gain expert, but I might be able to help. And yeah, if you've been doing your own 30-day journey or plan to, then leave a comment and let us know how you get on. Cheers.